kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow-mo, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From Bristol Motor Speedway in the Thunder Valley, the Davis Brothers Roofing Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series is ready to get down and dirty here in the last great Coliseum. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SRM and the Esports Broadcasting Network. Raymond Root, our points leader, looks to add to his trophy case with win number 4 on the season tonight. However, Nicholas Breidenbach, with no wins yet this season, sits second on the standings chart and is hungry to get himself a dirty win. This should prove to be an exciting night for racing from all 4 turns of this dirt demon tonight. I'm Dave Regal, alongside the best partner in crime a broadcaster could ask for, Tony Trapasso, and we will be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, tonight on ESBN. Tony, it is good to be with you here on Sunday night, Easter Sunday. Glad to be getting ready for some dirt track racing here at Bristol, buddy.
Time to get down and dirty and let the mud fly. And like I've told you time and time again, Dave, there's nothing better than sitting in turn 1 at a dirt track with a clump of clay in the bottom of your beer. as practice session underway right now. Joe Stafford sitting atop the pile. Raymond Root currently second quick. Alex Murray, Austin Story, and Alex Princeton rounding out your top 5 as we currently sit. Bear with.
Sorry about that, folks. We are back live here at Bristol Motor Speedway as we are getting ready for Heat 1. Tony, can you take us through the heat process tonight?
Why is that closed? There we go. We are going to go 15 laps. Top 10 are going to advance into the A feature from each heat race. From the looks of it, we don't have anybody going home tonight. It's just a whole lot of setting up the grid for the A feature, as again 15 laps, top 10 transfer. Looks like from the looks of it we're going to have 3 heats. Yes, 3 heats.
Should be 3 heats tonight, Tony.
Actually I'm showing 4, so that'll be interesting. So all 8 from each of the heats are going to transfer into the A main. It's just we're going to set up the grid based on that. Heat race number 1 starting to grid up right now as Charles Easton and Jeremy Miller are going to make up row number 1. Randy Spivey and Kavaja Holt going to make up row number 2. Kavaja Holt, sorry. I'm going to butcher that all night. I promise you that. Leo Bonacasa and Alex Murray starting in row number 3, and we're starting shotgun in this heat race, Kevin Rourke and John Bawalda. So 15 laps, the scheduled distance, Dave. Go ahead.
And I'll tell you what, these 15 laps are going to go quick, fast, and dirty tonight as they are rolling off here. You know, one of the fastest racers here in this league is Kavaja Holt. And very skilled racer. We're going to see he and Alex Murray probably work their way toward the front. John Bawalda, the commissioner of the Tuesday Night Truck Series, bringing up the rear here. Himself a very consistent and clean driver. So we're going to see these 3 guys make their way toward the top. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is 15 laps, not a lot of time to get it done. And they did farm the track in between the hot lap session and the heat race, and they're going to farm it again before the feature. So this is the freshest this track is going to be until we get to the feature. And Bristol is notorious for going dry slick. So here we go. Lights are out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. The official pace truck of iRacing is... I have no idea where we are right now. That is turn 2 that they are coming out of right now. So pace truck going to peel on off in between turns 3 and 4, and that's going to give Charles Easton the button as the field works its way out of the turn 4 complex. Heat race number 1 getting ready to fire off as they get into the restart zone. Here we go. Green flag in the air, and we are underway for heat race number 1.
And we see Charles Eaton kind of get himself a little loose as they get underway. Right now, it looks like the 22 of Randy Spivey trying to hold him down. Eaton can't really hold on to that car as he is now dropped all the way to the rear. But that definitely doesn't change how Jeremy Miller's feeling here atop the pile, running in P1 right now, being chased down by Kavaja Holt. And like I said, just before this heat race started, it looks like Kavaja trying to chase down Jeremy Miller. And we see John Bawalda, as I also mentioned earlier, working his way forward in this particular heat.
Yeah, absolutely. Bawalda already up 4 spots from where he started. Alex Murray's up 3, as we've already got 3 in the books. As a lot of beating and banging in the mid pack right now, Dave.
I mean, kind of like we often see here at Bristol Motor Speedway, even on asphalt. tonight things are starting to get pretty heated. And I mean, overall, we're going to see Kevin Roark here. Whoa!
Murray just ate the wall in 1 and 2.
He absolutely did. And just as I clicked off of him is when it happened. It looks like Murray just running way loose. A lot of cushion not really up there yet, as that's nothing but slick up there.
They're starting to form a cushion, and I think probably about 10 to 15 laps into the feature, that cushion's going to work in real nice. Ouch. That was the 51 of Buwalda eating the wall in 3 and 4.
And it looks like here with about 10 to go, Kavaja Holt in the 00, losing some ground to Jeremy Miller, who's got himself about a second and a quarter over him. Everybody getting nice and spread out, except for Kevin Roark, who's chasing John Buwalda down as if he owes him some lunch money, Tony. Leo Bonacasa completely wrecked out here. We'll take a look back right now. And we see Leo Bonacasa getting himself all kinds of turned around here and nosing down into that pit entrance wall.
Oh. Well, that's a new right rear suspension arm on that car. It's definitely going to be needed. So, and it looks like Charles Eaton just ate something too.
Well, taking a look. Whoa. Yep, he definitely took that inside wall too. Perhaps things getting a little sluggish there. Oh, yeah, that whole front end isn't turning right anymore.
No, it's not. He pounded the outside wall, something pretty fierce. And
look at Kavaja Holt in the 00 just whipping around the 40 car here, putting him an early lap, taking that second position away.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Holt trying to make it happen right now as Murray trying to reel him in. And that's going to be your closest battle on track between the 00 and the 40, as we are going to be 4 to go at the stripe.
And right now, Alex Murray doing his very best to chase down Kavaja. But I mean, listen, that wasn't good.
That was Buwalda and Roark getting into it in the middle of 3 and 4.
And Roark still trying to get himself back under control, as Buwalda just seems like he can't handle that Chevrolet getting out of the turn to go into turn 3.
He's overcooking it, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that they did farm the track and refresh the dirt in between the hot lap session and the heat races. So what you had at the end of the practice session, it's completely different than what you need right now. Battle for second, hot and heavy between Holt and Murray, though, as we are going to be white flag next time by.
Yeah, Jeremy Miller definitely has this piece locked down so far with just 2 laps to go. And I don't think Alex Murray has enough left in that car to try to get around Kavaja Holt, as Kavaja able to swing that rear end around.
What
Murray
were you saying?
I'm sorry. Send your hate mail, and I got this one wrong here, as Murray just proved me wrong.
Well, we've got a little bit of a cushion forming already. And like I said, about 10 to 15 laps, that cushion's going to form up quite nicely. Too bad it was a little too late for some of these guys here tonight. But that is going to do it for Heat Race 1. As your finishing order, Jeremy Miller coming home with the victory. Alex Murray in second. Kavaja Holt third. Fourth going to John Buwalda. Kevin Roark in fifth. Sixth going to Randy Spivey. Charles Easton and Leo Bonacasa are going to have to go to the backup cars as Heat Race number 2 starting to grid up, Dave.
Absolutely. And it looks, I'll tell you what, Dakota Cave last week in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity race, he's got himself quite a fan following there in in that YouTube live chat. And folks, if you are tuning in on YouTube or Facebook, on YouTube you're watching ESBN. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications for every time we go live here on ESBN. And, of course, make sure that you're subscribing to Sim Racing Media over on Facebook, where we are, of course, also live. And Dakota Cave had, his mom watch from start to finish last Monday night. So and that's a 100% length race. So Dakota definitely has some dedicated fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we always love to see the fans talking in the chat with us. We try to respond whenever we can. So if you are watching in the live chat, go ahead and let us know who you're rooting for, and we will try to highlight your favorite driver throughout the night. As the lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. Okay, we're going to have the button as the field worked its way through the 3-4 complex. And we are getting ready to turn them loose for heat race number 2. Actually, they're coming through 1 and 2 right now. I apologize, I had the wrong camera angle up.
I got to be completely honest with you folks. It's kind of hard to tell where you are on this racetrack, whether you're in the cockpit or, here, of course, in the broadcast booth, as there's not any real markings that we can see anymore except for dirt. Like, hey, Tony, look, there's dirt.
I look for the blue cone.
There we go. Dakota Cave takes the inside, and we are underway here in heat number 2 with 15 laps as Dakota Cave gets the jump. But it looks like the 09 going to be chasing him down. That's J.C. Gibson. Whoa! And Raymond Root manages to get away from the Jared Small kerfuffle with Christian Stewart back here in this knot of cars. Seba Cornez, he gets the show there in the number 16 Dollar General Toyota Camry. Getting passed by just about everybody. I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have anybody miss the features. They are 3 wide here with Jared Small. Whoa! Getting shoved up into the wall by R.J. Root there in the number 8 Ford.
Yeah, absolutely. As the 09 of Gleason stepping out of lead, being scored as the 27 here tonight, and this is one of the reasons why we don't let tech officials drink before handing out the transponders.
And we see the 88 getting himself pretty loose coming out of turn 2. As wow, the 73 of Christian Stewart can't even get it straight going down the back stretch as he goes into turn 3, up into that cushion, gets the run, and gets his left rear into the right front of the 88. And now the 88 is sideways as we are, of course, going to stay under green here with 12 to go. That's a mess. It looks like Christian Stewart not able to keep it straight.
Yeah, and David Barnes, how is that not a caution?
I'll tell you what.
There you go.
You would think that a caution would have come out for that, but I do not believe that there are cautions turned on for these heats, as now the 88 car of David Barnes very slow. Seba Cornez just trying to keep it nice and smooth here as he is here in the number 16 Dollar General Toyota Camry. Jared Small in his number 17 Ford chasing down Raymond Root, but I'll tell you what, I've raced against RJ, and once he gets that clean air and he can start logging laps, Tony, it's a done deal.
Well, he's using the cushion to his advantage right now. The only one really daring to put the right rear up on that cushion, as just reset quickest lap of this heat race with an 18.59. Bangs the wall coming off of 4. No harm, no foul. But yeah, he's definitely on a run right now as he's reeled in Gibson, and given a lot of pressure for the lead right now.
And I'll tell you what, RJ is definitely looking to get him. And I'm not sure, I mean, with 7 laps, I'm guessing we're going to see RJ make a run here as he gets on the high side right behind JC. And I mean, JC gets it, oh man, almost completely sideways. That's going to give RJ a little bit of a better angle here on exit to give him the run as we cross the start-finish line with now 6 to go, Tony.
Well, it looks like JC was using the time-tested dirt track way of backing it into the cushion as Root goes flashing by down the back chute. Gibson got caught up behind that lap car of Giberson as Cornez goes a lap down, and Root is just on a tear right now.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing that's going to be stopping him. Looks like David Barnes has just taken it down pit road. I guess he's taken all he can here in heat number 2.
Yeah, he's finally calling no mas, as the battle was hot and heavy there for a while for 6th place. They finally got that one sorted out.
Well, Dakota Cave, who has Rebecca Miller there, she says, let's go, Dakota, take it to the front. Well, Rebecca, I don't know if Dakota can overcome this kind of distance right now between himself and RJ, but as I had just talked about earlier, once RJ hits that clean track surface, he's out here and he's ready to take off.
Well, that's Dakota that he's reeling in very quickly right now. So the 7 is going to be the next one to go a lap down with popsicle sticks in the air for this heat race. RJ Root just on a tear. Throwing down the gauntlet here tonight that he's going to be one of the cars to beat in the feature as white flag, one more lap to go, and he flies by Cave right there.
And it looks like I don't think he's going to catch Christian Stewart just yet.
Nah, Stewart's a little too far up the road.
And that'll bring out the checkered flag with Raymond Root coming across the stripe, followed by J.C. Gibson, Jarrett Small, Christian Stewart, Dakota Cave, Steve Giberson, Seba Cornez, and David Barnes, rounding out your 8 cars in this heat. So what do you think so far? What are you taking away at this point from the first 2 heats, Tony?
It's kind of what I expected to see, especially early on, the early heat races, guys trying to get a handle on what the track is doing right now, realizing that what they practiced with or what they closed practice with probably isn't going to work. So it's the guys that know how to tune the car for this particular wear level on the track. They're going to have the best shot at it tonight. As looks like Ryan Samuelson going to be starting on pole for heat race number 3. He's going to be joined with the 10 of Chris Claude. Row number 2 is going to go to Tim Swaggett and Ryan Decker. Looks like Joe Stafford and Will Fink going to roll off in row 3. Row 4 is going to go to Austin Story and Nick Breidenbach.
And I'll tell you what, although that right now they're kind of sitting here in the rear of this field, I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts, as Grandpa Evans would say, that Austin Story and Nicholas Breidenbach going to be getting themselves up toward the front of this piece to challenge Ryan Samuelson. Chris Claude, of course, in the number 10 Dasani Toyota Camry, your Sunday Night NASCAR league commissioner and owner, and he has definitely put together one heck of an event tonight here for Sim Racing Media and ESPN, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was excited when, I found out we had the chance to call this one together. I love me some dirt racing, and anytime I can get a chance to get in the booth, I'm all over it. Yeah, I mean, Chris, we talked before we went on the air, and Chris seemed to be willing to listen to some ideas, and he's got a good group of drivers here. And in case you folks are wondering, it's a random draw that set these heat races. As pace truck peels on off, field goes into the restart zone. Samuelson has the button as green flag comes out, and we are underway for heat race number 3. Claude checks up the outside lane. That's going to let the 34 Swiggett get up into second.
And the 35 car of Ryan Decker getting in between here of Claude and everybody else's. Claude is now shifting back. Swiggett in the 37 chasing down Ryan Samuelson. And I got to tell you right now, if I was Tim Swiggett, I'd be nervous having the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Joe Stafford, in that number 57 Chevrolet chasing me down. As Stafford, one of the best drivers in this league. I mean, this split here, I got to be honest with you, has...
Murderer's Row.
Oh, God, yeah. Between Ryan Samuelson, Joe Stafford, Austin Story, and Nicholas Breidenbach, those 4 drivers alone, I would put them up against a top split anywhere in public races, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now everybody kind of playing nice. That outside lane getting stacked up really hurt, and you can see the front of Stafford's car is just completely annihilated as he got into Claude on the initial start, and we got a battle for the lead.
And Joe Stafford working the inside of Ryan Samuelson. Samuelson thinks he's got the advantage there in that bumper up there in the top of this track. Oh! They're attached. They're running down the front stretch, side by side, door handle to door handle, as Stafford and Samuelson get together. Now Samuelson's going to shoot between the 37 and the 57. Wow, my goodness. Samuelson's definitely got to slow things down here, because I'll tell you what, for Tim Swiggett and Joe Stafford, that was a full-on code brown.
It was a code brown for me, and I'm up here in the booth. Good grief.
And it
as
looks
right now,
like
Samuelson's story. Oh, there we go.
There they are.
And, yep, that proves it. Cautions are off in this heat race, so this could end 8 different kinds of poorly if they're not careful. That was Samuelson and Decker getting pointed the wrong way.
Well, and now Tim Swiggett in second. Austin Story getting himself back underway here. I told you he was going to make his way from the rear up toward the front as he is chasing down Swiggett and Stafford. And right now, Swiggett's got a heck of a lot of distance between himself and the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania native Joe Stafford here in the number 57 Chevrolet. Chris Cloud, as we mentioned earlier, the SNN commissioner, looks like his car has been through a war in back, Tony.
Yeah, he's eating that outside wall more times than he probably cares to admit right now, as he continues to backslide again as Breidenbach and Fink go flashing by him. But Story was lucky a couple laps ago when Samuelson and Decker got together. He was the third car in that tango, and somehow the seas parted for him to get clear sailing through.
Well, and we're going to see William Fink here, who is just trying to get himself settled down in the number 93 between Nicholas Breidenbach and Chris Claude. And right now, I'm pretty sure that these drivers just trying to bring it home, maybe not necessarily in one piece, but a piece that's salvageable.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of drivers having to go to the backup ride when we go to the A main, because there is a ton of damage on quite a few of the cars just in this single heat race alone, not counting the ones from previous heat races. So always a good idea to show up to Bristol with 2 cars locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
Absolutely, and now with Austin Story. Whoa! Austin's about to blow the doors off of Tim Swiggett as he has decided to turn it on and try to use... Oh, there they are. They make contact crossing the start-finish line with 3 to go. Austin winging it around here like this is a slingshot kind of track. We see him get to the low side, running directly into the back of Swiggett in the number 37. These cars now nose to bumper, as now it looks like Austin's going to try the inside of Swiggett. Oh, and they turn!
Oh, that one coming.
That's going to change things just a smidge.
Yeah, just a little bit. Stafford takes the white flag. That's going to promote Austin Story up into second. Swiggett now has to deal with the 93 of Fink.
And Joe Stafford bringing home the checkered flag, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in his number 57 Chevrolet. Will get himself one heck of a nice spot there in the A main.
Yeah, absolutely. As Stafford, Story, Swiggett, Fink, Claude, Samuelson, Breidenbach, Decker, all rounding out your field here in heat race number 3. So, again, everybody should make the A feature as heat race number 4 getting ready to grid up, Dave.
And here in this heat race, we do have Alex Princeton sitting in row 1 alongside Nolan Hodgson on the outside. Row 2, Josh Ward and Chad Sanner. Row 3, Tim Trowbridge and Marty Roberts. Bringing out the rear is an SNN favorite, one heck of a clean racer, Benjamin Harp in the number 28 Ford. Ben Harp has been part of the SNN family of racing now for, this should be his 2nd season. And we're going to see some really exciting racing here. Again, with some of the better drivers toward the rear.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with Princeton. We're still waiting for him to grid on up now, as he's about to get popped for missing the start. And here
just
we go.
waiting for that pace car to finally take off here.
Princeton not making the call.
Interesting. Princeton going to start from the rear?
Going to start from the pits.
Well, that's different.
That's going to hand the button over to Josh Ward in the ace.
Now, Josh Ward is the kind of driver that you're going to see tonight who, again, he works on his own setups. By the way, folks, this is an open setup league, so everybody out here can be twisting and turning that chassis any which way they want to.
And if you're in an open setup league, you want to go to Jones Setup Shop, they can provide you with all the setups you need, especially for these next-gen cars.
And speaking of Jones Racing setups, tomorrow night, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series here with the SNN family of racing. So although that, there's no dirt tire model for Xfinity, the Jones Racing Setup Shop was able to build a setup to try to make those Xfinity cars go around that track.
I think I'm going to be tuning into that one because that's going to be fun to see, especially since there's no dirt tire for the car. As the pace truck gets ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road, there it goes, and here we go for heat race number 4.
Nolan Hodgson here in the 54 on the outside with Josh Ward now taking the advantage on the inside, gets run into by Tim Trowbridge coming out of turn 2 as they are 3 wide down the backstretch.
Good
Tim
grief.
Trowbridge taking the advantage. This little diamond of cars here, something real special, which I certainly wasn't expecting to see this early in the race. And that's kind of uncharacteristic of Trowbridge, who's usually a very patient driver early on in a race. But, of course, with only 15 laps to go, there is no early on.
Yeah, exactly. This is a Sunday night or Saturday night shootout on a Sunday night. This is indicative of the type of racing that you would see at your local short track, as Hodge and Trowbridge and Ward all crashed. What?
I don't even know what to explain. They may have gotten slow, but I don't see anybody with problems. And it looks like Alex Princeton still has not come out of the pits.
Well, SDK apparently doesn't like me right now because it's saying that everybody that's on track has crashed.
Okay, well, not everybody has crashed, but Nolan Hodgson still our race leader, followed by Tim Trowbridge, Josh Ward, Marty Roberts Jr., Chad Sanner, and Benjamin Harp all out on track. Benjamin Harp gets way wide, way crazy out there. Let's take a look and see what just happened to Ben Harp.
Ouch.
We see Ben come down here to the inside and just get all the way out into the wall. Pops that wheel up. He certainly can't get off of it and just finishes the job on the inside wall right at the start-finish line.
Yeah. He's going to have to go to the backup car for that one. As crossed flags out for Noel Hodgson, as he's got a pretty sizable gap back to the 74 of Tim Trowbridge. Now, Trowbridge has some pace in that 74, but just can't get the power to go in a straight line yet.
No, and I'll tell you what, keeping these cars moving in a straight line, especially with all of the grooves that are now being rutted in here to the dirt. Now, you're more of an expert on dirt than I am, Tony, as I'm more of an asphalt oval guy. What kind of turbulence are these guys probably feeling as these ruts are starting to get pretty deep?
Well, Dave, being as you're in Pennsylvania, try driving down any of the interstates in Pennsylvania about 4 hours after a snowstorm when PennDOT has, and I quote, had the plows out. That's exactly what these guys are feeling. That rutted up, just it'll jar your teeth loose if you're not careful. With as ruddy as this track gets, and you can see the bump that they're having to deal with coming off of turn 2. The cars are actually catching air on that transition.
And we're going to take a look here at Nolan Hodgson for that bump. Oh, wow. You're not kidding, sir. That's a lot of turbulence. Now, as a lifelong Pennsylvanian, don't get me started on PennDOT. It's awful. Even on a nice sunny day, you can still lose half of your suspension driving down a road.
Yeah, you can. I
Timmy
actually
Trowbridge.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but Timmy Trowbridge trying to get the run on Nolan Hodgson here with 4 to go, as he's going to try to use that cushion there toward the top of the racetrack to maintain his momentum and swing that down here into turn 1. Gets one heck of a run on Hodgson, Tony.
And you can see where that cushion has already moved up towards that outside wall, and you can see the shiny bit just below it. That's where the track has gone real dry, real slick. And you can see Trowbridge was trying to pick up some moisture on the ultra low lane. The only problem is he didn't get both tires down in there, so almost wiped the car out and gave up a ton of track position to Hodgson, as we are going to get the white flag this time under the flag stand.
And we see Nolan Hodgson in the number 54 Toyota Camry, sponsored by Brandt, of course, working his way toward the checkered flag. He gets himself all lined up, all stretched out here on the backstretch into turn 3 one more time. Chased down by Trowbridge, who thinks he's got one more chance, and I think that was the last chance for Trowbridge to beat Hodgson here as Hodgson crosses the start-finish line. And it's Hodgson, Trowbridge, Josh Ward, Marty Roberts, Chad Sanner, Ben Harp, and Alex Princeton.
So that is going to do it for our heat races tonight. We're just going to wait to see what the grid is going to look like for the A feature here tonight at Bristol. Again, 125 laps the scheduled distance. And it looks like we do have the starting grid available to us, Dave.
Working on getting that starting grid here, as SDK still hasn't decided when we're going to get to see it.
I got it up on my end, as it looks like Jeremy Miller and RJ Root going to start on row number 1. Row 2 is going to go to Joe Stafford and Nolan Hodgson. So all 4 of our heat race winners going to start in the top 4 positions. Alex Murray and JC Gibson going to roll off in row number 3. Row 4 is going to see Austin Story and Tim Trowbridge. Row 5 gives us Gavaja Holt and Jarrett Small, with row number 6 going to Tim Swiggett and Josh Ward.
Row number 7, John Bawalda and Christian Stewart, with William Fink and Marty Roberts in row 8. Row 9, Kevin Roark and Dakota Cave. Row number 10, Chris Claude and Chad Sanner. Steve Giberson and Randy Spivey make up row 11, with Ryan Samuelson and Seba Cornez in 12. Charles Eaton, Alex Princeton, Nicholas Breidenbach, David Barnes, Leo Bonacasa, Ryan Decker, Ben Harp, and RJ Root round out the 31-car field tonight, as everybody is now rolling off a pit road, Tony. And I'll tell you what, with 125 laps to look at this evening, no stage breaks, this is going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, absolutely. As not sure exactly what's going on with Root. He just missed the start, as did Ben Harp. RJ had connection issues, so he's going to have to pit start this piece. So that's going to hand the lead of the button over to Jeremy Miller in the 44. As the lights are out on the pace car, the only thing that's really left for me to say, folks, is... And let me make sure nope, we are coming through turn 2 right now as the lights do go out on the pace truck. So 125 laps of scheduled distance here tonight. This is going to be a fun one. As the field works its way into the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left for me to say is it's time to wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point harness. Some popcorn, because it's time to get it on Easter Sunday. Race fans, it's showtime!
And I'll tell you what, there's no greater words in motorsports than "it's showtime" from Tony Trapasso, as Joe Stafford and Jeremy Miller running down the backstretch. This 3-pack of cars here, with what looks like Hodgson running right behind Stafford, chasing J.C. Gibson and Alex Murray into 4th and 5th right now. looks like Joe Stafford gets that car rotated just right going in here as we are on lap number 2.
Stafford has had one of the cars to beat all night long, set quick time in the qualifying session, set quick time in the hot lap session, won his heat race, and we are under caution already. Looks like Randy Spivey.
And we'll take a look back here and see what happened to old Randy. And, now it looks like Kavaja Holt may have gotten wrapped up in it, just trying to slow down and get back under control. We'll take a look here on ESBN as Randy Spivey in the number 22, right there in the middle. Oh, comes right across up into the 55. Oof. Just
Oops.
kind of a bad night. And folks, there are no fast repairs here, so he's going to have to hope that he didn't do too much damage.
Well, what happened with the 24? I don't see it on the events either, but something happened to Breidenbach.
Nicholas Breidenbach now
Oh!
down pit. Oh, it looks like he's driving a modified here.
Yeah, he just annihilated the 99's door as Rourke was parked sideways in 1 and 2. Highlight the 24 and go back a lap. That was a shot.
With a few extra moments here, we will run that back.
Lee.
My goodness. Here we go with the 24. It looks like, nope, this isn't it either. Folks, trust us, it was ugly.
Yeah, he basically the 99 was parked sideways. 24 absolutely nowhere to go. Just annihilated him.
So as we get ready to restart here on just about what's going to be about lap 8, Joe Stafford sits atop the pile with Nolan Hodgson, J.C. Gibson, Alex Murray, Tim Trowbridge, your top 5. Austin Story wasting no time to come from the rear up here to 6th position. Jarrett Small, Tim Swiggett, John Bawalda, and Josh Ward round out your top 10. Right now, your biggest mover of the night so far is David Barnes, who's up 11 positions, as well as Ryan Decker. So, and of course, these two drivers actually racing side by side here. They will be in the 88 and the 20 car, the 88 and the 35 car, respectively.
And this is a little bit different than the way I normally see dirt races run on iRacing. All caution laps are counting. Normally on a weekly dirt show, caution laps don't count. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it doesn't make our SDK go crazy. It's a bad thing if you're one of the cars that has unfortunately been put a lap down. It's less time that you have to try to make up some ground. As the pace truck peels off, go ahead, Dave.
Pace truck peels off. Joe Stafford with his finger on the button takes off at the start-finish line, gets a run on J.C. Gibson as we are back underway. Green flag racing on lap 8 of 125 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, obviously in the dirt, as it looks like the Propel car of J.C. Gibson, it's marked as the 09 on his paint, but of course 27 on iRacing timing and scoring, chasing down Joe Stafford in the 57. Everything getting real tight here as Tim Trowbridge working his way on the low side of Alex Murray in the 40 car. And I'll tell you what, Alex Murray and Tim Trowbridge both forces to contend with, as Jared Small thinks he wants to cut in and dance along.
Yeah, absolutely. As Murray was given Hodgson the chrome horn for about the first 3 laps after this restart. Finally, Hodgson has a little bit of breathing room, but right now Jarrett Small all over the back bumper of Trowbridge. as that is one of our closest battles on track. The absolute closest battle is back for 17th, as that's the 93 of Fink and the 44 of Miller going hammer and tongs at it.
And I'll tell you what, William Fink, whoa, and it looks like now the 44 gets to the inside of Dakota Cave, of course, the favorite driver of Rebecca Miller in our YouTube live chat. Looks like the 44 driving on the inside now of Chris Claude in the number 10 Dasani Toyota. And Jeremy Miller now setting sail with Kavaja Holt in the 00, the next driver in his target.
As the 51 of John Buwalda III and Ryan Samuelson's 81 is Buwalda eats the wall coming off a 4.
Buwalda can't be happy about the performance there as they cross the start-finish line, but it doesn't look like he's lost too much of a step as he goes right back at it to chase down Samuelson. Tim Swiggett working the inside of the 55 car, which is now lapped, of course. That's Marty Roberts Jr. there. Swiggett chasing down Timmy Trowbridge in the number 74 Ford. Timmy is one of those drivers who comes out every week, and he gets it right every week. I mean, full disclosure, folks, this league here is where I broke in with a little over a year ago in iRacing, and I'll tell you what, these guys work their tails off all week long to be practicing. I've been side by side with Austin Story, not for long because he's usually pretty fast, but we see him now working around Swiggett as Story secures 6th position and now is setting sail for Timmy Trowbridge.
Absolutely, and I'm taking a look back a little bit further, about 16th spot. Will Fink and Kevin Rourke, just cats and dogs right now. They've swapped that spot about 4 times as Fink jumps the cushion in 3 and 4. That's going to let Rourke have a little bit of breathing room in that Propel 99.
And it looks like that 99 there of Kevin Rourke staying on the outside.
Kavaja Holt just had big problems coming through 3 and 4 as I believe those, Kristen Stewart ate the entirety of the wall. And the car that's on the charge right now is RJ Root in the 8, trying to make something happen to climb his way back up through the field and get back on the lead lap. He's going to need a caution or two to do it after connection issues forced him to pit start. But good grief, these guys are picking him up and laying him down. We're already 18 laps in.
I got to be honest, that's indicative. Whoa, look at this knot of cars here with William Fink getting pushed into the wall by the 53 cars. William Fink now put a lap down by Joe Stafford. I'll tell you what, he can't be happy. Look at this knot of cars right now, Tony. The 93, the 10, the 88, and the 74 all trying to dance the same line dance, and nobody's in line. Whoa!
Yeah, spin your partner do-si-do as Hodgson gets back up into the number 2 spot. Gibson got caught up behind some lap traffic, and that drops the 09 back to 4th. Alex Murray up a spot, as these guys are just no quarter asked for, no quarter given right now.
Absolutely. It looks like Alex Murray taking the advantage over Nolan Hodgson here on the inside. And Nolan Hodgson, one of these drivers that we see every week up atop the standings. Folks, if you're just tuning in here on YouTube.com, we are Dave Regal and Tony Trapasso in the ESBN broadcast booth. This is Sunday Night NASCAR as Chad Sanner brings out the caution.
He had help.
And it looks like Chad gets pinned out here. Oh, and Nicholas Breidenbach takes him down on that left rear.
Yeah, that was an oops. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I can go with that. So, as I was just saying, folks, if you are just joining us in the YouTube live chat, let us know which is your favorite driver, who you're pulling for tonight. As Rebecca Miller, of course, saying, let's go, Dakota, take it to the front. Looks like...
what was the one doing?
Looks like Joe Stafford's got himself a little cheering session here. As Mayor is saying, let's go Stafford all the way. Then we've got some shout-outs for the number 44 and another Alex Murray. And then, of course, Caitlin Groves giving out the shout for Ryan Decker in the number 35. So lots of people watching tonight. Glad to have you in with us here at ESBN, and of course over on YouTube or on Facebook, Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, absolutely. Caitlin always pulling for Ryan, even in the Friday night Circle B Diecast Routing Energy Super Speedway League. Always glad to have everybody joining us. We do want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This is normally the nightcap of a quadruple header here on the Esports Broadcasting Network, as we generally do 4 races on a Sunday. Tonight being the holiday, these are the only ones that were brave enough to do it. So let's take a quick look at what we've got coming up this week. Looks like cleanracing.net series going to be going tomorrow night at 8:20 Eastern Time. And then on Tuesday, the AARL Truckers Feed America Cup Series, they are going to do the John E. Anderson 50 at Charlotte. That is a 7:50 Eastern Time start. And then Wednesday night, we are going to get, and these need to be scheduled still, so bear with me, folks, because we still have a lot of racing left to do. But I do want to wish everybody a happy Easter Pass of Ramadan. Christians celebrating Easter, the Jewish people celebrating Passover, and our Muslim friends, happy Ramadan to you. And no matter who you're celebrating with, just let your family know that you love them, because that's really what these holidays are all about.
And one more shout out, speaking of people who are unable to be here tonight due to families, and here we are on Easter. Driver of the number 29 Toyota Camry, Robert Nestor, part of Joe Gibbs Racing. So there's actually 2 of us not in the stable tonight for Joe Gibbs Racing, myself and Robert Nestor. Robert Nestor is here in the YouTube live chat, giving a shout out to Ham Jelly. Not sure who he means by that, but I'm guessing that's something that I'm not privy to. So J.C. Gibson here running in third, as Nolan Hodgson and Joe Stafford running 1 and 2. Alex Murray in fourth, and Austin Story rounding out your top 5, as looks like the iRacing pace car diving down pit road, as Stafford, with his finger on the button, gets a good start, crosses the start-finish line yet again, just gets ready to lay down these laps. Whoa! And it looks like Alex Murray almost got ran over by Gibson.
Yes, he did, as that checks up the 09 just a little bit. As the 54 into the wall, Hodgson going to hemorrhage some spots here as Trowbridge gets to his inside, wrestles the spot away from him. But, I mean, just...
Oh, and Austin Story coming down across the 44 right here in front of our very eyes. The cars are turned around, and we are back under caution on lap number 29 of 125 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, Tony. And we want to take a quick moment here, since we got to see that live, to pay some bills. What do you think, Tony?
Sounds like a grand idea. And here's our first, thank God this is a simulator moment of the night.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series. And we are back at the last great Coliseum for Sunday night NASCAR. Little dirt action at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Joe Stafford, Alex Murray currently atop the pile right now as we are getting ready to put lap 34 in the books. Lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing, as the field works its way into 1 and 2. And Dave, we've had a lot of carnage already, and we're not even at the halfway mark yet.
Absolutely, and with 34 laps in, I'll tell you what, we have seen some amazing racing so far. I mean, you know, here's the thing. When I hear about NASCAR history, and of course, kind of a history nut, I look at things like this and I'm like, this is the way racing is supposed to be. With Joe Stafford from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, taking off into turns 1 and 2, it looks like Alex Murray and J.C. Gibson are going to be going at it hammer and tongs almost the rest of the night, as now they've swapped positions and are side by side yet again, with Tim Trowbridge running by himself, getting ready to split them like the Red Sea.
Yeah, absolutely. As Gibson on that low side, Murray able to hang it out on the cushion up there, and you can see where it's starting to get that sheen in the middle of the corner. You want to keep your tires off of that as much as possible, because all that is like driving on ice. As, Gibson eats, no, that was Trowbridge eating the wall. Gibson eats the wall now. Trowbridge right back into the fight, and we're back under caution. Oh, boy.
And we're going to take a look here and see what might have happened involving Leo Bonacasa, Christian Stewart, maybe even Nicholas Breidenbach here.
Oh!
Oh, my. Stand by, folks, as we're going to get you a better view every step of the way here.
Ouch. Yeah, watch that with Christian Stewart.
Riding along here with Christian Stewart on the replay. Christian Stewart's riding the wall, tries to get himself righted. Now we see his teammate Chris Claw giving him some space, but William Fink just taps him and sends him right up there through the mud and into the wall.
You know, the 45 of Bonacasa, absolutely nowhere to go, just catches a race car to the teeth.
You know, that's something that you're going to see from Chris Claude all night. He is more than happy to give drivers the space that they need to get around this piece safely. You know, and when it comes to, you know, right now, Chris running back in 22nd position, you know, with just these few laps, down so far, he's still going to finish much higher than he is, as he is Mr. Consistency here in SNN.
Yeah, absolutely. Got quite a few cars that are one or more laps down right now, as I'm only seeing 17 on the lead lap. So definitely a long night for some of these guys, and definitely a night RJ Root's going to wish he could forget. But as we are under caution, let's take a quick rundown of what we do have coming up, as I did find the rest of the schedule. CleanRacing.net Cup Series going to be 8:30 Monday nights, Eastern Time start. Then Tuesday we've got a triple header with the Night Shift Racing League starting at noon Eastern Time. The All-American Racing League Cup Series is going to be a 7:30 start on that one. And then, Dave, you and I are going to be in the booth for the Western States Racing League. for the nightcap on Tuesday night. It's a 10:15 start on that one. Wednesday night, we've got at least a doubleheader this week. Not sure if we're going to get that triple in or not, but we've got the Thunderclap Racing League at 8:30 Eastern Time, and definitely the Ghost Cup Series at 9:10. Thursday is going to be the only game in town being the USRA Truck Series, the TNT Truck Series. They are going to have an off week this week. And then Friday we've got the triple header with the iRacing East Circle B Diecast Rowdy Energy Super Speedway Series at 8:30 Eastern Time, and then the Wicked Sim Racing League is going to be rolling off at 9 Eastern Time, and the Kool-Aid Monster Next Gen Cup Series at 9:30 Eastern Time. Saturday is our off night, and then a quadruple header on Sunday with the IFL IF1 Series at 3:30 Eastern, ISNF Cup Series at 5:30 Eastern, the Fired Up Esports League at 7:30 Eastern, and of course you are watching Sunday Night NASCAR here at 8:30 Eastern Time. So a ton of racing left this week on the Esports Broadcast Network family of broadcasts. And if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action. And then, of course, go on over to the Sim Racing Media YouTube page, Sim Racing Media, the parent company of the Esports Broadcasting Network, and you can find the podcast that Dave and I do. And it's not just about iRacing or racing in general. We cover baseball, we cover football, we cover lacrosse, hockey, basketball, whatever you want to do. As we are back underway, Safford getting a good jump. Gibson and Murray still side by side for second.
Absolutely. And now Stafford being chased down by J.C. Gibson in what looks to be the 09. We are back under caution, Tony.
Oh, no. R.J. Root. Oh.
Taking a look here at R.J. Root, as we're going to see him there in the top of your screen in the 8 car. The 30 and the 35 get together. RJ tries to get past the 30 and can't do it safe. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say safely, but then, of course, he is plowed around like a pile of snow. And here we are back under caution, Tony.
Treated like a pinball or a hockey puck.
Folks, from Tony's reading of the schedule that we have here, I'll tell you what, folks. We have 14, maybe 15. We have 14 for sure broadcasts this week on Sim Racing Media and ESBN, and possibly 15, depending on if one league gets a sponsorship secured. But I'll tell you what, there is nothing but entertainment on ESPN. If you like hanging out with Tony and I, of course, we do Tuesday nights for the Western States Racing League, and they're in season 46, Tony, and we talk about it all the time. They've got their act together. And, of course, as Tony mentioned, we do a podcast together. So, again, if you like hanging out with us, we're more than happy to hang out with you for another 51 minutes this week of the Sim Racing Media Money Stop podcast.
And since that has come out, we can finally say what the biggest news to hit iRacing since the release of Dirt Racing has come out. Sim Racing Media and the Esports Broadcasting Network are proud to present Road from Rookies, as we follow a driver who is brand new to the iRacing servers, and his ups and downs as he tries to progress through the license levels here in iRacing. And nothing like this has ever been covered in this way before.
No, and I'll tell you what, we had Mr. James Riles came on the podcast to introduce the program, and I mean, he's just let me digress. This entire series is something you've never seen, and we couldn't be following a nicer guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The guy's, he's got a lot of Twitch cred to his belt, but we're bringing him over to the Sim Racing media family of broadcasts. And we're following his progression from rookies and as high as he wants to go. We're going to bring you every single moment of action in a, I hope, what's the word I'm looking for here? A congruitive, format where you can see what works, what doesn't work. How is the quickest way to progress out of rookies and really start your iRacing career? Because that's really when your career starts, is once you get out of rookies, you can start playing around with other car and track combinations. And that's really when you start to get into the leagues more and more, is once you get out of rookies, you have that basic car control figured out at that point. Now you can start playing with the higher horsepower cars and some bigger tracks and have a lot more fun.
Absolutely, and speaking of fun, looks like Joe Stafford's ready to get back down and dirty here as he crosses the start-finish line. The green flag waves, and J.C. Gibson goes back on that quest for P1 here as he is being chased down by Alex Murray. These 4 cars atop the pile tonight have not given up on one another whatsoever, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Kavaja Holt and Jeremy Miller going after it right now for the 8th spot, as they've been door-to-door since the green flag flew. As that is the 31 of Swiggett right in front of them, as Miller is going to be working to the inside of the 37 now.
And the 44 slides up into the 37 of Swiggett. Jeremy Miller, as he is securing that spot away from Kavaja Holt in the 00. Looks like Swiggett here, that black car just behind the 00, not willing to be giving up anytime soon, as Kavaja Holt now back to chasing down Jeremy Miller in the number 44 Chevrolet, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. Is I'm looking throughout the rest of the track. Gibson and Murray right back at it for second place, as almost contact between the 40 and the 09.
I'll tell you what, the 40's got him. You know what? We're going to go in here to the 09's cockpit, because I can only imagine what his hands are doing right now. It just looks like he's got to be working his arms off trying to keep this bad boy. Why don't you talk us through a lap here, Tony, as you're the dirt guy?
Well, from the looks of it, he's trying the Scandinavian flick to get that thing set into the corners. As you see him throw it to the left, back to the right, doing a lot of counter steering, and we are back under caution.
And it looks like Seba Cornez and Christian Stewart have come together. Christian Stewart definitely not having the race he was hoping for tonight. We'll take a look back here at what happened. We see the 53. In fact, we're going to set this up. Run this back just a little bit further, folks. I'm sorry, not the 53, but the 55. Working the outside of Seba. That's Marty Roberts Jr. here in the 55. Both these cars lapped right now. As we see Marty setting himself up and gets it turned around just as he's trying to get himself settled back down. Then we switch over here.
The 73 is what got Seba.
Then we switch over here to Christian Stewart in the 73, who's about to turn down and just get Seba in that right rear quarter panel, and they just... Oh, and Chris Claude just takes his teammate right to the face.
Well, I mean, if you're going to take anybody to the face, might as well be a teammate. As the 73 is still... the 73 just got hit by the pace truck.
It's been a rough day for the 73, Tony.
All right, now while we're still under caution, I want you to go back out on that track and hit the pace car.
I mean, since it's there.
Anyways.
I'll tell you what, Tony, we've seen some really interesting racing tonight here. It's, right now, your top 10 looks like Joe Stafford, J.C. Gibson, Alex Murray, Tim Trowbridge, Jarrett Small, Jeremy Miller, Kavaja Holt, Tim Swiggett, Ryan Samuelson, and John Bawalda III. And Bawalda has been making his way up quietly, but your biggest mover of the night right now is David Barnes in the number 88 Ford, as he's up 16 positions from whence he started. As it looks almost like he's got kind of a modified.
Yeah, he does. Now, the 54, Noel Hodgson, has decided to come down to get some fuel pumped into that car. and I'm kind of surprised he didn't take tires.
What kind of a factor are dirt tires here, especially on these next-gen cars, Tony?
I'm not 100% certain because I haven't had a chance to wheel one of these things around the dirt tracks yet. But I know in just about every other dirt car in the iRacing sim, or every other car that you can put on dirt in the iRacing sim, tires are huge. You might not think of it, but it's the dirt tires are very akin to, for those of you who are F1 and IndyCar fans, they're very akin to what you would see as a rain tire. And it's very easy to just burn the grooves out of the tire. Very easy to blister those tires. And, if you've worn the tires down to where there's no tread left, you're skating at that point, and it's not a fun time. And if you backslidden that far, you might just as well get tires. It's worked so far for Miller and Holt. Both those guys came down and have gotten tires and fuel put in those cars. Miller on lap 32, 4 tires and fuel for him, and he's steadily climbed back through the field.
Absolutely. I mean, these drivers always working it one lap at a time as we are back under green here at lap number 60 of 125. We take a look here at David Barnes working around in 14th position, getting pinned up against the outside. Now Raymond Root in the 54 car of Nolan Hodgson trying to get past him, and he allows Raymond to get by, but of course Raymond now down a few laps here as the 7 car of Dakota Cave still on the lead lap, looking to hold his track position as we are just under halfway here in this race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Alex Murray now trying to swing in here to catch the rear of J.C. Gibson again.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm watching what's going on behind him. Is this a 3-car slugfest with the 00 of Holt, Trowbridge, and Jarrett Small?
And we see these 3 cars going down the back stretch here on that backside of pit road. Looks like Kavaja has gotten himself settled in, and whoa, look at the back of the 74, Tony. Just bouncing as if he's on a trampoline. Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's kind of ugly. That's what I was talking about. That transition off of 2 it's just a giant pothole.
We're gonna watch from the rear here of Tim Trowbridge as he goes down into turn 3 and 4. Look at the back of this thing as he's fighting that every step of the way.
Oh, very much so. And it's even worse coming off of 4 as that rut is getting ever deeper, and we are back under caution. Looks like J.C. Gibson.
J.C. Gibson looks like he's gotten it all wrong here. We'll take a look. There I am stealing Rhea Ferris's tagline here as
net code.
JC comes. Yep.
That
so
was
folks,
netcode at its finest.
Woof. Folks, right here we're going to take a look at what netcode is, because this is, yeah, to use to your point, Tony. That's netcode at its finest, folks. Here in iRacing, of course, there's always a computer algorithm that's looking for things that may happen. It's working on probability. So you're going to see J.C. Gibson not actually touch the 40 of Alex Murray, but basically iRacing is going to guess what happens. So we're going to see him come through here. We're going to put it here at about quarter speed.
And let me explain this to the folks. I could have. I'm in a wheelchair. I could have wheeled my fat crippled ass between those 2 cars.
Yeah, there was plenty of room.
It had plenty of room to stretch my arms out at the same time.
And you see this here again. This is netcode, but you see this where again JC's not going to touch him, but now you're going to watch the damage appear on the left rear of Alex Murray. But they never touched. It was iRacing just guessing. And believe me, as a driver, that's got to be like top 3. Oh, top 3 frustrating moments.
Yeah. It's gotten better, but it's also gotten worse in some cases. But that's the beauty of internet racing. You're racing with people around the world, and everybody's got a different connection to the internet, and you can tell there's a lot of times where you can tell guys that have a hamster wheel style internet, and those guys that are running a big block setup, the Google Net or whatever you want to refer to that thing as, that some of the bigger major cities have now, where it's a gigabit down and a gigabit up minimum. But you could have the best internet out there, but if the guy you're running next to, you got to trust their internet, not just yours.
Absolutely. And I mean, one of the things that you and I find ourselves often talking about is NASCAR during its infancy stage and that dial-up era. And I can't even imagine what netcode must have been like, especially when it was trying to guess and then sync everything together. The lag must have been incredible.
Oh, it was horrendous at times, which is why when I was going to college, we were using, I believe it was NASCAR either 96 or 98. We would have LAN parties in the servers at school. And at that point, that wasn't too bad. But if we were trying to race against guys off campus, forget it.
Absolutely. And I mean, one of the things, that we take for granted anymore is the existence of the internet in the first place, but the speed of the internet. I mean,
yes.
I can't imagine Matt Drudge back in the late 90s trying to upload files with dial-up as he was trying to break news, where today you can upload 7 stories all at once, in the blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it used to take the better part of 20 minutes to download a news feed back in the day, and now it takes maybe 2 seconds to upload a 48-chapter novel.
And speaking of novels, here's a novel idea. Let's watch Tim Trowbridge chase down Alex Murray, as Tim Trowbridge now getting the torque under that car and keeping the grip there, as it looks like he's got things cleaned up pretty well.
Well, let's watch Jeremy Miller, too, on the fresh tires, trying to reel in Trowbridge.
Oh, yeah. And we see the 44 Chevrolet chasing down the 74 Ford of Trowbridge. And, Trowbridge himself, he does work in a race shop in real life. That's his day job. Oh, and he rubs the wall just a little. That'll take a second to pull down. But Trowbridge knows these cars inside and out, as, of course, as soon as I look away, something else happens. We see the 44 now working the low side of Trowbridge. Trowbridge trying to keep the run going.
Hang on to her.
Boy. Whoa, boy. The 44 and the 81 about to get together. Ooh, that was impressive. Ryan Samuelson should probably be on Dancing with the Stars with moves like that.
Well, the thing to keep in mind, too, is Samuelson up 19 from where he started this piece in the number 4 spot right now, as he's just been on kill.
And I'll tell you what, Tim Trowbridge out here holding it together, and here we are, lap 76 of 125. Jarrett Small, Austin Story, looks like something big may have happened. We're going to take a look back. Oof. The 44 causes the 17 of Jarrett Small to check up. And when Jarrett Small comes down, it looks like he just kind of stands right in the middle of traffic. He's definitely not taking your advice, Tony, to not play in traffic.
Yeah, that was avoidable. That's me. But do want to give a good shout out to our friend Nate joining us in the chat right now. You could find him on his Twitch channel as he tries to progress from the rookie division here in iRacing, twitch.tv/SpurLoco. And we will be following along with his updates. And, Dave, I think we should make Nate a regular guest on the podcast to check in and see how he's progressing.
Tony, I absolutely agree. I mean, look, we had a really good time with him. I mean, granted, you and I really didn't say much to him because it was, of course, James's, big reveal. But when it comes to people coming in, I mean, especially completely green, Nate is so green. How green is he? Nate is so green.
He's never driven an oval race before.
Exactly. That's where I was going. Get out of my head, dude. Yes. He was like, yeah, I've really not got a whole lot of experience in oval, and my jaw almost hit my desk.
Like, wait, what? And then you hear him explain which sims he's been in before, and it makes sense. Assetto Corsa doesn't do a lot with ovals. Project Cars doesn't do a whole lot with ovals. And the fact that he's coming in as green as he is, I already told him, hey man, give me a call and I will spot for you anytime you want me to. That I'm not having to do a broadcast. I'll gladly spot for you to help get you out of rookies quickly. And look, that's when the fun starts.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, it's always nice when. Don't get me wrong, when you come into iRacing, especially as a new driver, it's always really important to maybe have somebody that can kind of be your Obi-Wan, or your Qui-Gon Jinn, who can bring you in and walk you through some of the processes. Of course, we're not just letting Nate hang out there, blindly. He's got an entire family here at SRM to answer questions, especially because there's some stuff that's literally iRacing nuance that you and I rattle off every day, and
right
to a newbie, not so much.
I gave him the same advice I have given to everybody who I've known that has joined the iRacing servers, and that is the quickest way to get out of pavement oval rookies is to cherry pick the Charlotte quad oval races and pit start every one of them.
See, now I had never tried that. I basically just went full throttle. I mean, and not full throttle, but as close as it gets. Kind of like what Joe Stafford just did there, and wow, look at him turn. I've got the blimp cam up right now, and as Joe makes his way forward, he's got that car pointed like it's rotating perfectly. It's like he's sitting on top of a fulcrum.
Yeah, he is, but there is a major rut forming on the inside lane coming off of turn 2. Let's see if anybody gets into it this time. It'd be right around where the 54 was.
We're going to watch Joe Stafford take that rut as it's going to be a little bit easier here once we see him cross the start-finish line. We're going to have a caution, though, for a slow car there on the backstretch. The 83, no. There is a lot more than just a slow car.
Austin Story is on his... no, I'm sorry. That's Leo Bonacasa is on his side. And pavement modified on pavement modified crime.
And we're taking a look here at the number 45 of Leo Bonacasa, that Monster Energy machine coming through here as, he gets pinched in the middle, turns sideways, and once the car backs up to the inside wall, there is no give left in that, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I mean, Austin Story tried to get him off the wall, but it didn't work. Yeah, he is good and stuck, so had to tow back to the pits.
I'm definitely going to take him a minute to get himself all righted, and while he takes that minute while we're under caution, we're going to pay some bills, Tony.
Sounds like a grand idea.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway here in the night at dark.
Where Tony
Sorry.
screws up everybody's name.
And obviously, I can't even put a concurrent sentence together, as Tony was just called out by our good friend Zach, or Spur Loco, who is the driver that Sim Racing Media is all about right now. As Tony explained and we're under caution at lap number 89, so we'll have plenty of time to talk about it.
Yep, looks like John Bawalda got it wrong. And he had help.
He definitely had help. Oh, he just, oh.
Oh!
And it just doesn't get any better for Bawalda. Oh, and then the 44 gets whacked again. My God.
Yeah.
Well,
Eesh.
that should give us a few moments here to talk about our friend Zach. Of course, here's the thing. Tony and I are like conjoined twins, minus the actual attachment because you're in New York and I'm in Philly. But, whatever
and the
Tony
20 years
says,
difference in our birth dates.
which is fine. But Tony, we're pretty much wherever Tony goes, I'm following. If Tony says, "Come on, we're going for a walk on Niagara Falls," I'll be like, "Oh, what time are we leaving?" So it is Zach who is Spur Loco over there on Twitter.
We're gonna go play Red
Twitch.
Rover in this minefield.
Yes, in.
All right, take your clothes off.
See, now that's where it could get scary.
Just remember, it's erotic if you use the feather. It's kinky if you use the whole bird. But, anyways, yeah, Zach, I do apologize for screwing up your name, but we are definitely going to have Zach on the podcast as a weekly check-in to see how he's progressing. And I'm thinking we put the kid in the pavement modified next. One of the SK modifieds in the iRacing server for D-Class, and, get some open wheel stuff going. Because the modifieds do not get enough love in the iRacing servers.
No, absolutely not. And, so as we were talking about earlier, I mean, Zach is going to be, kind of guided along by everybody in one way or another at SRM. I was very fortunate coming into the community that I had somebody to just kind of, take me by the shoulder and be like, all right, go this way, try this. The thing is, you can go on YouTube and you can find 100 different guys who are A-class drivers who are saying, this is the best way to get to where I am today. But it's not for everybody. You're about to watch somebody, they're on those stepping stones.
Yep.
That we've all had to take.
You see, I had someone that was willing to take me under their wing when I got into the iRacing servers, and I can't thank Leela Wilson or Mike Denton enough, because I raced with them back when I started my sim racing career in another sim out there, and they said, okay, let's try this once you get out of rookies, and they guided me out of rookies, and that was the advice I give out, is what they told me to do, and I was out of rookies in about a week, just like Zach was. He has progressed out of rookies, so congratulations on that, Zach. Now we got to figure out what to put your happy ass in next.
Yeah, and of course, my Jedi Master is Robert Nestor, who's not here tonight. but he was there in the YouTube live chat. And same deal. I mean, walked me through the early part. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. And I was fortunate enough to fall in with this group here at Sunday Night NASCAR. Last year I was running all 3 series, and I mean, I'll tell you what, let me go over to him right now. Josh Ward in the number 1 car. Here's a guy where he's got an incredible iRating, very skilled out here on the track, but he's willing to take any one of these drivers and help to lead them onto something better.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's what the iRacing needs more of, are people that are willing to coach rookies and coach rookie dirt drivers, apparently.
Hey, there are some and we're back under caution at lap number 96.
Oh! The 00, the 22, the 17, the 55, the 45, the 8, the 23. Oh, God. The carnage. Nope. Very much so.
And we see right now your top 10: Joe Stafford, Alex Murray, Nolan Hodgson, Tim Trowbridge, Ryan Samuelson, Kevin Roark, Alex Prince, and Tim Swiggett, Dakota Caven, Steve Giberson. And remember what I was saying just a few minutes ago, Tony, about Chris Claude? He's in 11th.
Yep.
I'm going to see if we can quick dial him up here, because there's somebody who was just laps down, running in the 20s.
No, you're fine.
Hey, Chris Claude, Dave Riegel up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I sure do, Dave.
Chris, listen, we looked at you a little while ago. You were down there toward the 20s and laps down. Now you've gotten yourself back on the lead lap in 11th. How's that Toyota Camry handling?
It's handling fine. I had an incident running into one of my teammates and didn't get it slowed down enough. That was really on me. I could have done a better job about that, but it's running fine. I think that I will be fine as long as I can just keep the car under control. There's a lot of the guys that are having trouble getting into people. I'm giving people plenty of room on the track, and that usually attributes to pretty decent finishes here, as long as something doesn't happen to me at the very end of the race. But last year kept the car clean, finished inside the top 10. I'm hoping to do the same tonight, and maybe even get the top 5 if things work out really well.
Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you what. I mean, we were just talking about, you are Mr. Consistency who has just worked your way back up here. I mean, you're still +7 from where you qualified, so time's starting to tick down lower and lower here with 24 laps to go. You think you can?
The race is starting to fly by for sure. So it's almost go time. Just so you know. So I'll be a little bit more aggressive than I have been.
So Chris Claude from Fairview, Tennessee, getting ready to bring it home for Joe Gibbs Racing. Thanks for your time, Chris.
All right, thank you.
And Tony, when it comes to the drivers here in this league, Chris again very consistent. I mean, he suddenly says that it's go time sitting in P11.
Well, it is go time, because we're just past the century mark. Now it's Saturday night shootout territory, as there's only 25 laps to go. And, if
Joe Stafford gets all kinds of loose. Look at the front of that car clogged with dirt.
Yes, he did. And Alex Murray and Noel Hodgson. Hodgson has been on a steady climb. Oh, here we go. Kavaja Holt again.
Looks like Kavaja has been having himself a rough night here. We're going to watch the 00 yet again.
Net code.
Oh, my.
Yep. That was net code again.
And we see the 00 kind of looking like a modified running down. And there he goes all the way around. Oh, that's interesting. That's a new one. Let's take a look at that again, folks.
Yeah, that was net code after the fact.
That was like, it was almost like you double tap the jump button in Super Mario Brothers.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking.
There he goes, rubbing against William Fink in the 93, and then all of a sudden just ba-boing, and gets that left rear spinning sideways here without even being touched. Woof. Well, that'll change. I mean, you know, here's the thing. The 00 has been trying to fight his way back all night, but it's getting kind of hairy.
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, we're getting down in the closing laps. It's getting near crunch time, and you know, Dave, the one thing we haven't talked about is, are they gonna have overtime tonight?
I mean, look, we've seen the overtime factor. Stand by 1 second. We've seen the overtime factor come into play several times here, especially on dirt. I mean, we're getting close, Tony. I mean, we're averaging every, 10 laps or so, and we're at 21.
Right, but that's one thing we didn't talk to Chris about is, are they going to have overtime here tonight on the dirt?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we should all just buckle in and find out.
Yeah, absolutely. As Joel Stafford continues to show the way, Alex Murray, Noel Hodgson, Tim Trowbridge, Ryan Samuelson, Kevin Rourke, Alex Prisson, Tim Swiggett, Jeremy Miller, and Dakota Cave rounding out your top 10 right now. And I haven't seen a lot of guys go down to take tires yet.
No, and I mean, if you've gone this far without the tires, is there really a point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You get that fresh rubber out there, and it's going to be good for at least a 10th.
Well, and speaking of 10, let's take a look from that top 10. Looks like Joe Stafford, Alex Murray, Nolan Hodgson, Tim Trowbridge, and Ryan Samuelson, your top 5, with Kevin Roark, Alex Prince, and Tim Swiggett, Jeremy Miller, and Dakota Cave in the number 7 Toyota Camry rounding out your top 10. These drivers working their way through the dirt here yet. Yes, Tony?
Can we go the final 19 laps? It'll be 18 when we get the green. Can we go that far without bringing out another dreaded caution?
Well, when we do 18 laps.
Place your bets, folks.
I wonder what the odds would be right now on that.
100 to 1.
Fair enough. I will not be playing house there. I don't want to lose all my money.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight for Sunday Night NASCAR here at Bristol on the dirt. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications, as most of the nights during the week, we've got triple headers with a quadruple header every Sunday.
And tonight, right now, today here on Sunday, we've been the exclusive fodder for content on ESPN over here on YouTube and Sim Racing Media on Facebook, as everybody else taking Easter Sunday off. But just like real life NASCAR, tonight we are live from Bristol Dirt. I'm Dave Regal alongside Tony Trapasso in the ESBN broadcast booth. Oh, there it is. 17 to go. David Barnes crashed.
Oh.
We're going to see David Barnes here in the 88.
And then got smacked around like a hockey puck.
Again, netcode. Look at, let's see,
Yeah.
from John Bawalda. Looks like the netcode came from John Bawalda. We're going to take a look here, as Bawalda never actually makes contact
No, the 55 got into the 88. There was definite contact between the 51 and the 88.
Fair enough. If you say so, I'll believe you. Well, folks, here we are under caution yet again. And one last time, we want to thank you all for joining us in the ESBN broadcast booth. Dave Regal alongside Tony Trapasso. And folks, if you like hanging out with us, check out the Sim Racing Media podcast, available on Spotify and, of course, at simracingmedia.com. And we get to hang out with Tony and I. We've had some really great interviews this week. Tony, you know, you had Mr. Clapper from Thunderclap Racing Series, stock car series.
Yeah.
That is quite an interesting league if you think about it, because they follow a similar track schedule but change the cars.
Yeah, every week that group changes between the Next Gen, the Xfinity, and the truck. I believe this week we are back in the Next Gens. Yes, we are going to be back in the Next Gens this week. And, I mean, just... It's hard enough to get a handle going from track to track to track in one car. The fact that you've got to change the car and change the track, that brings a whole different level to the challenge. Fixed setup league, so everybody's running the same shock and spring packages, same tire, same gears, you know, same adjustments on everything. And it really comes down to driver skill. And Dave, from the sounds of it, you might possibly be joining me in the booth for that one, if the other thing that we were talking about earlier doesn't happen. But you know, you're in for a treat when you do join me in the booth for that league.
Well, you know, I realize that if I do come along to Thunderclap with you on Wednesday, that you know, I'll be filling the shoes of Father Frank Marchese, who, of course, has definitely more important things to do that night due to his real-life work schedule. You know, to be fair, I would prefer to be at a baseball game, too.
Well, he's not at a baseball game.
Well, he's not at the game. He's going to be in the studio.
He's the in-studio producer for the San Diego Padres.
I would do anything to have his job. So the fact that that's fine. I'll call Thunderclap for him. He can go work for the Padres.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to have about a 10-lap shootout when we go back to green.
And I got to tell you, I mean, Joe Stafford right now, it's almost like he's hiding down here in the mud, waiting to unleash what he's got ready for Alex Murray as they get restarted here. And it looks like Stafford wasting no time making sure that he can get this pass made and secure the lead. Whoa, as the 54 and 74 still bouncing down the rear. And, you know, we looked at it earlier, and Tim Trowbridge, just gets it all kinds of loose coming out of 4. Look at the back end of that car, Tony.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that thing has definitely seen better days. And he's now got to worry about the 99 of Kevin Rourke reeling him in. Oh, no!
My goodness. This is almost like rush hour on the Schuylkill Expressway.
What? Yes, it did. What was the 40 thinking?
I believe the term would be that he was not thinking. As we're going to watch here from the 54 chasing down the 40. In fact, we're going to quick change cameras to something a little bit higher so we can try to get now. Again, the 54 here, that red and black car right here in the middle of your screen, chasing down the 40. The 40 gets all kinds of loose and drives into the rear. Drives into the rear of Joe Stafford. And it looks like...
Yeah, and Hodgson just sent it, got into the slick stuff, and was just along for the ride. And Trowbridge is just a victim of Yikes!
It's been a rough night. Well, here we are with 8 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Joe Stafford sitting atop the pile. Our top 5 just drastically changed, Tony. This is not the way that it looked a minute ago.
Absolutely is. Go back and take a look at what Steve Giberson just experienced. As he just turned 2 cars into pavement modifieds.
Well, I mean, you know, looking at it from here, we've got Joe Stafford atop the pile. Kevin Roark now in 3rd. And just as he was talking earlier, Chris Claude in 7th. But Alex Princeton right now, your largest mover of the night, running, of course, he pit started. So up 22 positions here.
And it looks like Princeton did come down at some point to get tires. Back on lap 67, he was on pit road long enough to get all 4 tires changed. Same thing goes for the 44 of Miller. And it looks like the 35 of Decker did the same thing. And, you know, Princeton's up 22. Decker's up 23. So, ooh, that's not good. They just disabled Alex Murray's chat.
That means that Alex Murray's probably not having a good night right now. Probably a little bit frustrated as, you know, don't get us wrong, folks. You know, these drivers are out here for the last 120 laps duking it out, and we get this close to the end and the scary stuff starts happening all the way at the front. That can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you're sitting in P2 where Alex Murray is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I mean, from what we've seen, of the green flag racing, it's been pretty good. It's just we haven't seen a lot of green flag racing lately. As the pace truck does peel on off for what we hope is going to be the final restart. 3 laps to go. I think that 4 to go, sorry.
4 to go
Stafford,
here.
Yeah, go ahead.
4 to go here as Stafford is now being chased down. Oh, my. That was definitely a Code Brown kind of moment for Stafford as Murray now chasing him down like a dog. Murray definitely wants that lead back as I hear crashing, but I don't see it, so we are under green with 3 to go. Now Murray on the inside of Stafford. They get together. Stafford gets sent up the racetrack. Looks like he's going to come down in the right rear quarter panel of Murray as they cross the start-finish line. 2 to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Alex Murray atop the pile right now as Jeremy Miller and Joe Stafford now going at it hammer and tongs. Alex Murray sneaking into the win if he can hold everything together.
Not going to be a happy camper.
Stafford is probably the angriest person on the face of the earth right now. As the white flag waves here at Bristol Motor Speedway, Tony, it looks like Alex Murray and Jeremy Miller have enough distance between them that Stafford may have just gotten the league hijacked from him.
That is the worst feeling on the planet to have that happen. Is Murray gave him the old Spanish Archer coming off of 4 with 3 to go, and Stafford hasn't slowed down yet. As the checkered flag is out, he's hunting.
No, he's about to remind Alex Murray who had the lead for most of this race.
He thought better of it. Sounds like a grand idea. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Some amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series. And we are back after some fireworks in the closing laps here at Bristol on the dirt for part of Sunday Night NASCAR. And Dave, I do believe we've got our top three in the waiting room right now. Which direction do we want to start with? And we are going to start with the man who's got to be about ready to start kicking puppies right now. Driver in the number 57, who led the vast majority of this race. And Joe, talk us through those last handful of laps.
I don't expect anything less.
So you were kind of expecting that if he got to you, you were in trouble?
Yeah.
Well, Joe, right up until that point, you had command of this piece, and you were steadily walking away from the guys that were up in front, but just some carnage in the closing laps here took out quite a few of the front runners that were contesting you tonight, but you were able to hang on for a podium. Just how slick did this track get towards the end of that race?
Yeah, the track really got rubbered in, and it was pretty slick. We couldn't get a good enough green flag run to know which lane was faster. Yeah, this really sucks.
Well, Joe, again, heartbreak tonight as you led the all except for the last 3 laps of this race. You were in the command of it. We're going to let you go console with your teammates, but who do you need to thank before we let you loose?
Yeah, I would like to thank Chester Water Authority for being on the car this season. I truly do appreciate them. I want to thank everyone at Propel. And also another thing, I don't know what's wrong with these field filler racing guys. Like, we've had a good relationship, but these past few weeks, they've been moving me. I don't get it. But, yeah, thanks everyone at Propel. And thank you guys that for broadcasting this and everyone running the league.
All right, Joe Stafford, congratulations on the podium. Best of luck to you next week.
Well, Tony, I'll tell you what, definitely one of the saddest post-race interviews is Joe Stafford had this race under control, and
Oh, absolutely.
the rug just gets dragged out from underneath him. But right now,
You can hear the dejection in his voice.
oh, God, yes. And right now, looking to try to get a hold of Jeremy Miller, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen, the Burlington, New Jersey native, wow, you're only right across the bridge from here at ESBN Studios, Conshohocken. You got the 44 into P2 tonight after you qualified P1. How does that feel? I mean, you battled all night long to get up here.
Yeah, I mean, if we were scoring points for how many cars I passed tonight, I think I'd be the points leader, even though this is my first start of the season. So, just couldn't stop getting out of my own way or just getting wrecked. I put myself in the wall lap 1 there from the pole, which was one of my not so great moments. But just after that, I kept driving back through the field and something happened. I finally, at the end there, was able to make it stick up there and finish around where I probably deserved to. I think I could have contended for the win, but just never really had a chance to really race it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the hardest things when you battle for, especially for 125 laps like you did tonight, is to come up short. Here with such a strong car all night long. I mean, a lot of this top five got changed at that last caution. I mean, how did you manage to keep it, basically clean most of the night?
Yeah, I was able to slice through those wrecks pretty well all night. The only time I was really in something is when like somebody directly got into me, which happened like I think 3 times. But and other than that, I was able to get lucky, not really hit anything all night. I had probably maybe 3 minutes total in damage all night, and then with two to go there, when the 57 got the wall, I got a meatball and popped down about 100 RPM for those last 2 laps. So I'm glad I was able to hold on where I was. It would have been interesting to see if maybe I could have built a run if I still had the engine in it on those last 2 laps, but it was definitely just a very, very frustrating night having to pass the amount of cars I passed.
Well, it was definitely like trying to navigate. Tony and I were talking later on in the race here in the latter stage, and it was like trying to navigate the Schuylkill Expressway during rush hour. I mean, you definitely had that car on tough guy status.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking pretty, but I think the finish justifies the amount of damage that car took. I just got to thank all my guys back at Cyclone helping me out this week and giving me a good car to get up here and run up front.
Absolutely, man. Anybody else you need to thank besides your boys over there at Cyclone?
Just anybody out there watching, you guys putting on a great show. Just everybody who makes this league go around. It's fun racing over here. Other than that, it was just a really, really tough race.
All right, man. Man, listen, we're gonna cut you loose, but congratulations on that P2 finish, brother.
Yep, thank you.
That was second place finisher Jeremy Miller and Tony Trapasso. I believe you have tonight's capture of the checkered flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Made the moves when he absolutely had to. Alex Murray, talk us through those last handful of laps.
First off, I just want to apologize to Joe and JC for getting into him. With Joe, it definitely wasn't intentional. I didn't want to use him up like I did, and I did. I just missed the bottom and got into him. And with JC, it just absolutely my fault. I drove straight. The car just didn't want to turn. So, first off, I want to apologize to those guys and get that out there. But yeah, the car was really good. Joe was definitely the class of the field tonight. I knew I had to make something happen that last restart, and I felt really bad how I got by him. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get into him, but with this dirt deal, you just got to make a move when you can, and that was my opportunity. So that's what I did, and ended up getting the win. But I think he would have won it otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. As there was a lot of carnage going on in the last, say, 10 laps of this piece, as we saw the landscape change. Every time the caution would fly, somebody up front got into somebody else up front, and you were able to survive a lot of the carnage to get into striking's position, and you made the most of it with 3 to go. I mean, unfortunately, that's dirt racing.
Yeah, but I mean, you still don't want to get into them. I mean, I respect Joe and JC and everyone in the league, and I hate getting into people, but sometimes it happens, and you can't do anything about it, especially on the dirt. It's so hard to keep the car on the bottom when you're there, and if you don't hook it right, you're gonna move up the track. So that's just what happened there, and like I said, I apologize to Joe for that one, but yeah, I mean, we capitalized when we could and had to, but definitely not the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah, nobody ever really wants to win it that way, but beating and banging, that's short track dirt racing. That's Bristol, baby. But
Yeah, for sure.
Alex, we're gonna let you go celebrate with your team, getting the win tonight here at the Last Great Coliseum. Who do you need to thank before we turn you loose?
The simracingedge.com, Brennan Poole, Quinn Houff, Brian Hall, RJ, Ryan Samuelson. We all work together every week throughout the week and learn from each other. And RJ got the win last night in the big league race, and used the same setup and got it done here. So got to thank those guys. Got to thank my girlfriend as well, and my family for supporting me throughout the whole season. And once again, just want to apologize to Joe and JC for the contact there that was made.
All right, Alex Murray, congratulations on winning here tonight at Bristol. We will see you next week, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Dave, we got another one in the books, my friend.
Not only is it another one in the books, Tony, but it's definitely my first time not being on the track for Sunday Night NASCAR, and our first time working this broadcast together. And as always, just a great pleasure to be hanging out with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever, you and I think you hit the nail on the head. We're kind of, we're very like minds, and we're always able to, get a congruency going where, we kind of know what the other one is thinking most of the time, unless it comes to baseball. I don't know what you're thinking being a Phillies fan.
I mean, well, it's my one flaw. If I have a flaw, it's because I bleed little red pinstripes for the Phillies.
Yeah, but you're also an Eagles fan.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Thank God for small favors.
We won't even discuss that because I'm afraid that there will be hate mail, Molotov cocktails, and torches thrown at my home. So.
Enough said. Okay, I know who you're a fan of now.
Attaboy.
The Evil Empire.
Ooh. So, all that being said, we have had one heck of an event here at Bristol Motor Speedway tonight as Alex Murray brings home the checkered flag. Here in P1, followed by Jeremy Miller and Joe Stafford in 2 and 3. Alex Princeton finishes in 4th, up 24 spots from where he started. Worked it all the way there from his pit start. Kevin Roark finishes in 5th. Ryan Samuelson, driving the number 81 Chevrolet, finishes in 6th. Nolan Hodgson in 7th. Ryan Decker in 8th. Dakota Cave and Chris Cloud round out your top 10, Tony.
RJE Root, after missing the green, rebounds into 11th. Steve Giberson, coming home in 12th. 13th going to David Barnes, last car being scored on the lead lap. Tim Trowbridge, after that late race incident that he got into, relegated to 14th. Will Fink in 15th. 16th going to Randy Spivey. Leo Bonacasa in... Come on. Darn ya. Leo Bonacasa in 17th. Tim Swigert in 18th. 19th going to Austin Story. And 20th going to John Bawalda.
21st is Josh Ward, Chad Sanner in 22nd. Nicholas Breidenbach in the number 24 Chevrolet, still up 4 spots from where he had originally qualified, finishing in 23rd. Kavaja Holt, who battled this whole night away, finishes unfortunately down in 24th. Jarrett Small, driving the number 17 Ford, finishes in 25th. Marty Roberts in 26th. J.C. Gibson in 27th, with Seba Cornez, who gets the show, finishing in 28th. And rounding out your 31 cars in the field, Charles Eaton and Benjamin Harp, who actually never took the start tonight. So hoping everything was okay with Ben, as I do consider him a good friend. So hopefully everything's all right with him. But, Tony, it's been a heck of a night.
Yes, it absolutely has. And, again, want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on this Easter Sunday for our Catholic friends. Happy Passover to our Jewish friends, and happy Ramadan for our Muslim friends. But Dave, we do have to thank a few of our sponsors tonight before we turn this loose.
Absolutely. Here at ESBN and Sim Racing Media, we do want to thank our good friends and partners, the Jones Racing Setup Shop. And, of course, here with Sunday Night NASCAR, they are presented to you by Davis Brothers Roofing since 1983, and they specialize in residential and commercial roofing in Tennessee. Davis Brothers Roofing has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. So glad to have them as a partner here with Sim Racing Media and Sunday Night NASCAR. And without them, you and I wouldn't be sitting here in the broadcast booth tonight.
You are absolutely correct, sir, and we got to thank those guys every step of the way for allowing us to bring all the door-to-door and beating and banging week in and week out here on Sunday Night NASCAR. But that is going to about do it for us tonight from Bristol. For Mr. Dave Regal over on the ones and twos in the production truck, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.